Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Linux, which I know is a really offensive and new topic for this channel that I've never talked about. So what prompted this was I was looking at, I think, like a YouTube comment or something like that, and it was a video. And tell me if you've heard this before. There's a video that comes out, and it's like, I switched to Linux for a week, or I switched to Linux and these were the results, or I did all the stuff that I used to do on Windows on Linux now. And those videos are really good. You know, they introduce a lot of people to channels like mine where I talk about more specific topics and whatnot. But one of the things I want to talk about in this video is how a lot of computer habits that people develop on Windows are purposefully difficult to recreate on Linux, and I think that's a good thing. And so the working title for this video is Gaming on Linux is really bad, and that's good, and that's like a good thing. And the reason I'm saying that, I mean, it's not just because gaming itself is kind of like a waste of time. I'll tell you guys a story. When I was around like 14 years of age, 15 years of age, I must have had some kind of hormonal change or something. And what happened was that I suddenly just stopped liking video games. Like, I was playing my Wii U because I had a Wii U at the time, and I was like, man, this is kind of boring. Like, I don't like this. My brother loved it, but I didn't like it. And I was like, well, how does this make any sense? Because there's like adults on the internet who play video games for money, for entertaining other people. And so I thought, well, man, I'm just finding this so boring. Like, I like doing other stuff. And I don't know, I just kind of started thinking about that and like the implications of it, and I didn't realize at the time, but I realized later in life that it was like these kind of habits formed by consumer electronics, consumer operating systems, even something as simple as the software that you use. And when I switched to Linux, we're like, you can't do anything. Like, you can play okay, nowadays you can play games and it's compatible and whatever, but you still have to hack to get the games to work, and you have to do some weird stuff if the game isn't fully compatible. And I mean, nowadays there's like the Steam Deck or whatever, but before that, you know, back when I was trying Linux, there wasn't any of that. Like, if you wanted to play video games, there's like Minecraft and that's it, and even then I didn't really like that. And so I thought, well, you know, that's actually pretty good, because it forces you to only use the computer for stuff that is actually productive and good in a way. It's more that you develop computer habits that are different. So my logic going forward is you should be able to switch to pretty much anything. Even like I was thinking the other day, if tomorrow I switch to OpenBSD or something like that, what software would I be missing from before? Like, what would I not be able to use? And I don't know, like, I couldn't really think of anything. And I thought, well, you know, maybe I could just do that, or I could just switch to macOS even, or like Windows or any other operating system, and not have that. If you're in that kind of stage of computer usage, I think that's a healthy stage to be in, because you're not bound by all, like, the stuff that's in common between those operating systems tends to be the only stuff you really need a computer for in life. So yeah. What's the other thing I wanted to say? Well, yeah, gaming isn't that good. There's also a bunch of other stuff that I don't like on Windows. Oh yeah, like hobbies. One of the big things that people complain about with Linux is like, oh, my hobbyist software doesn't work, or this specific Windows software I use for this hobby is bad. But it's also kind of indicative that maybe that hobby isn't like the most generalized or important thing ever. So, I don't know, and this isn't even, obviously I'm not talking about like work or stuff. Like, let me give you an example. If you every flight school in the world makes you get an iPad with iOS, and you have this app called 4Flight, which pretty much every pilot uses in training, and it's an iOS exclusive. It's a subscription-based app, and you know, you can't really do anything about that. But then again, everything else in the work industrial environment is also, you know, proprietary and produced by someone. Like, we can talk about the airplane and the engine and whatever, but that's getting too deep. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Goodbye.